What is up, all you rockin' resellers? Hopefully everybody's doing good. It's your boy Flippin' Stoop, and I want to talk about one thing I've learned. I've learned, you're going to learn numerous things through our reselling, but one thing I learned maybe a year in, maybe a year and a half in, is, I don't know the exact time, that reselling isn't something you have to have a special eye for, right? Like let's face it, like, if you're going to be a barber, you probably got to have a special knack for like cutting hair, right, or style, or wanting to learn it or whatever, right? Practice it. You have something where you like to style people's hair. Reselling, you don't have to have any like special skills. There are some things that will definitely help you throughout the reselling. But one thing I learned, I said maybe a year, maybe two in, is anybody can do this shit, right? Like anybody can start this side hustle and within a year never have to work for anybody again if they truly want to, right? And hence is the reason why I make this content, is because I know I've worked with, you don't know how many different jobs I've had, and I tell you the truth, I don't know how many jobs I've had, but I had a lot, right? And so many, more than 50%, probably more like 60 or 70, that's just a made up percent of the jobs I've worked at, that amount of people, 60 to 70% of people, couldn't stand what the fuck they were doing. They couldn't stand their pay, right? This is the reason I make a lot of this content, is because I know I'm not the only one that's sitting at a fucking 9 to 5, looking at their boss thinking, what the fuck does this motherfucker have that I don't have, right? And everybody thinks it's money, right? But I'm here to tell you, unless your boss inherited money, they didn't start out with money neither, right? They probably started out in debt, depending on wherever you work at, or whatever they do, right? And this is the great thing about this company, is you can start off with $0, man. You can start this type of business. You can start out of your basement. You can start out in your garage. You can start out on the side of the road. Hey, look at that baby stroller on the side of the road. Man, that looks nice, right? I say that because I just passed one up, right? That looks nice. Somebody will buy that son of a bitch for $15 off freaking eBay. I'm telling you now, right? You take that $15, you take that to Goodwill or a garage sale or whatever thrift stores around you, and get $15 worth of inventory and start listing somebody. It is really something that, I don't want to say simple, but you do not have to have a degree to never work for anybody again. I think a lot of people get confused, as well as I did. When I was growing up, right, I'd see people in like a Jaguar, or, around us you don't see too many Bentleys. There's a couple out here, but not too many. But you'd see a really fancy car, and a person that's, I'd look at him and be like, man, they just must be really smart. That's not true. Now, look, I'm not saying smart people can't be wealthy neither, right? But from the research I've done for the past 4 or 5 years, more people that I have done research on that are I'm talking multi-million, billion, billionaires, they have dropped out of school. They've dropped out of college. And look at Mark Zuckerberg, just for an example. I can name a whole bunch of them, but the thing is, you guys probably, I don't know if you guys study successful people, but a lot of them went through high school, dropped out, or actually made it through high school, and their first year in college realized, man, I don't like this school shit. I don't even like the career I'm about to choose, so I'm just going to start my own gig. They started their own gig, and it took off 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years later, right? A lot of people think in reselling, I'm just going to get in this shit. In 90 days, I'm never going to have to work for anybody again. I wouldn't do that. Get out of that mindset, right? Stop wanting the instant, like, okay, I'm going to start today, and next week I should be getting 10 sales a day. That's not going to happen for you, right? That's just not possible, right? Like, I use the example of, like, you're going to go, say, okay, you're going to go in a GM, right? As an entry-level person, and you just expect by next month to be the CEO of the fucking company? Think realistically. If you are starting with one sweater, right, and you want to do $1 million in sales in a year, or 100,000 or 50,000 or whatever your number is, right? Do you really think you can do $1 million in sales a year if you don't have $1 million worth of inventory? No. So it's going to take you time to build that up, right? And here's the one thing I like to stress the importance of. Don't rush the process, right? Don't rush. I did that shit at the beginning. Okay, I got to get everything perfect. Everything's got to be going. Everything's got to have a system, and I got to do it now. And I, under pressure so much, all I did is put a bunch of pressure on myself that was unneeded. Just learn to have patience through the process. And what do I mean by that? The little setbacks, the days you can't get any inventory, the days you don't get no sales. The first 6 months, it's kind of looking rocky, right? There's other times it's going to look rocky. I just went through this last week where our sales looked rocky, right? You're going to have this shit. This is part of the process of becoming successful as a reseller. I don't hear a lot of other resellers talking about that, right? They want to show you where they got for, they'll resell for 5 years or something like that, and then they'll be like, how I made $1 million on eBay. Yeah, right, but show them the 5 years prior to that of the fuck ups you did, the inconsistency you did that gave you bad results, right? And all this shit. They don't show you that. Like, for example, you'll see a movie star be like, man, it must just be great to be that movie star and a multimillionaire. You didn't see what that he or she did for the past 15 years. They probably got rejected 99 billion fucking times. No, you are not fucking, you are not cinema material. You don't see that. What you see when we see, like, for example, LeBron James, the basketball player, right? You see how good he is. The second the game is over, he is in the gym practicing for the next 4 hours. He's waking up before everybody. He's training hard. How do you think he became LeBron James? Right? Somebody just don't wake up and go to high school and come out of college and they're LeBron James with the same work ethic that we got. Right? You have to do something completely different to be an icon, to be a legend or something like that. And I'm not saying you got to be a legend on eBay. But what I'm trying to get at is just enjoy the process. Try to learn to enjoy the process. I stressed myself out so bad in the beginning. I still have my moments. I'm not perfect. But try to enjoy the process. And what do I mean by that? Look, shit's going to fucking happen when you're reselling. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to get some bogue customers. You're going to get some scams. You're going to get this. But I'm telling you what, right now, you're going to get a lot more honest people than you're going to get dishonest people. Fuck the dishonest person, man. Let it go. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have days you're not going to know how you're going to get inventory. You're going to have days where you're lucky if you get a sale, right? You're going to have people trying to send you lowball offers. Like, that's all part of it, man. And if you can't handle that, maybe reselling's not for you, right? So don't rush the process is number one. But the number one thing I want to talk about, I've never met a single individual in my life, especially today's day and age, right? If you're 18 years old and under, or 21, 25, if you're 30 and on, if you're any age, really, but the younger generation, basically, us at my age gave the kids the cell phone to occupy them so they didn't have to fucking watch them, right? It's just the truth. That's why it happens. So these kids today, they can operate a cell phone like no other, right? I know how to take photos, get my shit up on eBay, and that's it. But the younger generation, if you're sitting around a house and you're in a house, you're 18 years old, you're 19 years old, and you're broke, it's by fucking choice. There's a billion, and not only eBay, there's a billion different ways you could be doing a side hustle to not be broke, right? But the number one thing you got to do, of course, is what? What do you think? Believe in yourself, right? You got to believe that something good could actually happen for you. And a lot of us were born, let's put it this way. If the majority of our country is in poverty, then the majority of the country has a poverty mindset. How do you come out of that? Man, watch some motivational videos or something. Start doing some different shit. Stop taking advice from people that are in poverty, right? You ever notice that? There'd be broke-ass motherfuckers, right? And I was one of them. I'm not just saying it, so if you're a broke motherfucker, don't personalize it. Broke motherfuckers will try to tell you how to make money. What the fuck sense does that make? And what I mean broke, look, I'm not judging anybody. I've been there, done that, right? What I'm talking about is broke is living paycheck to paycheck. You are literally making just enough money to pay your fucking bills. Look, man, let's cut the shit. That's broke, right? If you have no more money over at the end of the week to save, to put up, whatever, you're broke, right? It don't matter. I don't care if you're making $1 million a year and you're spending $1 million a year. You're just a rich broke motherfucker. That's all you are, right? You're just a wealthy broke son of a bitch, right? So the bottom line is. I've never met anybody that can't do this shit, right? I say that because there's nothing special, but man, I fucked up and did drugs and alcohol for 20 some odd years, man. I've been in prison where I thought my life was over, the door shut behind me, and here I am staring out of a chicken coop, right? Like the shit you see on TV, Shawshank Redemption shit, right? I'm just staring out thinking, I'm fucked, my life's done. And nobody's ever going to hire me. Nobody's ever going to do this. eBay don't give a fuck about none of that shit, right? Now, look, eBay don't promote me. eBay don't tell me to say this shit. I'm just being realistic, and I would like to reach out and help somebody that, hey, maybe you did do some fucking ignorant shit like I did in the past, right? And you have a hard time making ends meet. Dude, fucking eBay, you can make a substantial amount of money on eBay. If you put in the same work you'll put in at your 9 to 5, you'll be blown the fuck away by the amount of income you're making, right? Now, it all depends on how much time you put in. If you put in 10 minutes a day, well, you're not probably going to get that much substantial, you're not going to get that much income, right? Unless you're listing real estate or some cars, vehicles, Harley Davidsons, whatever, right? With a bigger margin. If you're selling things like me, clothes, or what a lot of resellers get into, smaller items, or maybe you do you buy from Alibaba or whatever, and you mark it up by a couple bucks and you sell it. That's another model. I know a couple people that do that, and they do really good, right? But your model don't matter. What matters is what you're willing to put into yourself. This is what I kept telling myself in my mind, right? The last 3 years I was working for a 9 to 5 company. I kept asking myself, I'm willing to break my back for a company that don't give a fuck about. Look, I don't care what your company says they care about you all. No, they don't give. Look, if they cared about you, they wouldn't give you something where you can barely make it on, right? They wouldn't pay you fucking $12 an hour, $14 an hour, $16 an hour, whatever. If your company cared about you, they wouldn't pay. They know in the back of their mind they could ask that, have them live on $15 an hour right now. Man, you couldn't even make it in gas, right? So what I'm trying to get at is, the past 3 years, I was looking at these people that I'm working for, and I'm like, I will break my back to make another family wealthy, because that's all you're doing. If you're working for a company, whoever the owner is, the CEO, what you're doing is you're breaking your back, and everybody in that company is breaking their back to make their life good. In your life, you're scraping ends. With logical sense, I kept asking myself, why am I doing this? Why? And the reason I put it off for 3 years, because I didn't believe in myself. That's just the truth, guys. I didn't believe. I'm like, yeah, right, nothing like that could happen for me, right? I had a poverty mindset, and I still struggle with it at times, right? I admit my flaws. I still struggle with it. I got to tell my inner self, shut the fuck up, Justin. That's not you no more. That was your past. That's not today, right? That was your past. Maybe you got a habit of putting things off, procrastinating, or starting something and not finishing, right? I was famous for that shit, right? Start a project that I have 99 projects going on and not a one get finished, right? That's not you. That's just a bad habit you had of starting something and not finishing. That doesn't define who the fuck you are, right? You have the choice to finish those if you truly want to. We are making them right. Absolutely. Well, we're making eBay rich too. But the thing is, eBay will actually pay you out, dude. You know, you're going to work for a company like that. Most companies you go to work for has got a cap. They got a salary cap or they got an hour rate cap, right? And they're not willing to go beyond that. Very few, unless you become the CEO or whatever, you move up the ladder like that. But on eBay, dude, there is no cap. You could hire 60 months. You could hire 6,000 people in a fucking warehouse and have them working for you and make fucking as much money as you really truly wanted to. You really could. I'm not saying you're going to get that done in 5 years. Yeah, that could take you 25 years, but wouldn't that be a pretty sweet goal to have? Talking about a 9 to 5 like I'm doing. Yeah, any 9 to 5, any job you punch in, punch out, it's just a dead end. Look, and I'm not saying there's not people out there at a 9 to 5 that's making good money, because there are. And I'm not saying those are dead ends. But most 9 to 5s, at least in my area and from what I've done research on, you're never going to get fucking super wealthy unless you sit at home, do nothing, pay your bills, and every last penny goes into a savings or something like that, and then you invest in the stock or whatever, right? And then it blows up, right? Because you really, your money, this is why I love reselling too. Your money, right, that you try to save, you put up, that money is actually, people don't think about this, but your money sitting every day is losing value. They're printing in the United States trillions of dollars a fucking day. Listen, they're printing so much money in the United States. Look it up. This isn't bullshit. I forgot what world war it was, 1 or 2, right? Every day they're printing more money than World War II cost, or 1, whatever it is. Whatever one it was that cost the most, right? So if I'm wrong, don't judge me. So that's how much your dollar is appreciating all the time. Your dollar, every single dollar that's sitting in your saving, it's losing value, Right? And you don't believe me? Look at the gas price right now. Go buy a fucking gallon of milk. Go buy a jug of fucking water that used to be 60 cents. Now it's fucking almost $2, right? Think about it. So this is why I love reselling, is keep flipping your money, man. Your money has to keep moving to grow. You put 10 grand if you put 10 grand in the bank right now and you wait 5 years to pull it out, you done lost about probably $2,200 fucking dollars by the time all the inflation rises the next 5 years. Maybe more. I don't know how bad it's going to get, right? But over time, when your money is sitting, it's depreciating. You're losing value. So that's a reason I love flipping items, because I'm always taking my money and making more money with it. I'm making my money work for me, right? It's a really good habit to get into. Make your money work for you. You not work. See, the poverty mindset that I grew up in, and most people that I've ever met in my entire life have, right? To go punch in, punch out, right? I give them this amount of hours, they give me this amount of pay, right? Being there, it's hard to save money like that, right? You're spending almost all your money to pay your fucking bills and your daily expenses. By the time you're done, you'd be lucky if you can save 20 to $100 a fucking week, right? Most people, you look it up, Google that shit too. Listen, everything I talk about, I do my research on. Most people in the United States don't even have $1,000 saved up. That's fucking batshit crazy. When you can make that in a day on eBay, right? If you put the time in. Now, this isn't something you're going to do in 6 weeks or not. You can do that in a fucking day on eBay. Most people, guys, I'm not talking about, there's a percentage, but a higher percentage than the percentage that does have over $1,000 in the bank. There's more people without that amount of money in the bank than that there actually is, right? It's fucking crazy. It blew my mind when I did that research the other day, and I found out the majority of the people in the world don't even have $1,000 saved up. You know, right? Like, all my life, I never could do that. All my life, when I was in my addiction and all this other shit and working for all other companies, I couldn't save money. Because by the time I started putting something aside, something come up. Right? Something come up where I had to dig into the stash, and wham, I'm right back down to zero. Right? But that was by choice. I chose to do that, and I chose not to do any side hustles. With the bottom line I'm getting at, it don't take no genius to resell. If you want to make more money than you're making now, it is the best time in the world to make more money than you've ever made. I believe that 1,000%. True, everything goes up but our wages. Right. Through inflation, your wages are supposed to go up. But it goes up just enough to keep you fucking broke, right? Never to make you fucking... Like, that is not their goal, is to make you wealthy. Listen, I don't want to get too sidetracked from eBay, but our system or government and shit like that, they don't want everybody wealthy. Why the fuck would they want everybody wealthy, right? They don't want everybody wealthy. Wealthy people know how to work the system. They know how to invest in a resale and not, or real estate and shit like that. And actually learn the system and how to pay very little to no taxes. And people bitch about that. Man, that's bullshit. Rich people don't got to pay taxes. No, you can do the same thing if you want. You can do the same thing. Just figure out the system. Right? You'll hear people bitching about that a lot of times. And the truth be told, when people do that, they bitch about other people's success and they complain about it because they're struggling. That is actually a weakness within them. They're upset that somebody else is living a life, but here you are scraping bones, so you got to blame it on somebody, right? Because you don't have no excuse of why you're not making any more money. You're not. Most people are lazy. I'm included, guys. I'm right there. There's 90 fucking % of the days. I'm telling you, I don't want to do this shit, man. My mind tells me, fuck that. Fuck that, Justin. Just go, man. Just go off-roading, dude. Go do something, right? Very rarely do I wake up in the morning, strap my shoes on, and be like, I can't wait to get to the gym, right? I don't do that. And granted, we only went back a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, but I'm glad to be back there too. And that's another point I want to touch on. If you are listing for a lengthy period of time, like me, 4 years, I stand here 6 to 8 hours a day, you're bending over, you're great. It might not seem like that physical, but at my age, I'm 41, right? At my age, my body started feeling like shit. And my energy level started dropping. If your body starts feeling like shit, your energy level and your mental energy will drain. It'll drain you. And then your production gets less. Right? It's crazy as fuck. I started exercising again anyways. But in only a couple weeks, I feel better. I got more energy. Right? You can probably hear it in my voice. I feel better about myself. So I think it's very important. You don't got to go to the gym and lift a fucking You ain't got to be in there to be the biggest guy or the woman with the best, whatever, right? You don't got to do that. But I think it's very important, even if you walk to the mailbox and back a day, or walk around your block, or drop down on the ground and do a couple push-ups. Do something, because your energy level is going to be your income level. I'm telling you that right now. If you got zero energy, if you're finding yourself every morning you wake up, you got zero energy to do this shit, go start exercising. You don't got to go an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours. You can do fucking 10 minutes a day, man, 15 minutes a day, right? I excessively go because I'm trying to prove a point to my generation of people. What I mean by people in the 40 group bracket, where they're like, oh, at that age, your body starts falling apart. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to prove them wrong. The only reason their body's falling apart is because they're choosing for it to fall apart, right? They're choosing it to. I've seen guys in the gym. I'm going to give you an example right now. The Rock. Look at that fucker. He's like 52 years old. He looks like he's got a fucking 19-year-old body, right? Right? But that's by choice. Because he wakes up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. By 4:30, he's doing cardio. He gets done with the cardio. He eats enough carbs and protein to get him back in the gym. Before most people wake up, that dude, The Rock, has 2 workouts in. That's why he looks like that, right? Most people age and start losing energy because they quit exercising. And that is a very crucial thing when it comes to reselling. For one, I got a padded mat I stand on, right? I picked it up at Walmart for about $20. But it does. When you're working by yourself, and if you're going to start reselling, if you got a significant other, that's rad. Especially if they'll get in it with you and they kind of get involved with it. Mine did in the beginning, but sometimes I can be kind of hard to work around. I'm kind of pushy. I'm like, look, and when I'm in my zone, I don't want to be interrupted, right? It's not play. I'm serious when I'm in my zone. So, I could see it. I was probably hard to work around, and then, anyways. So, we didn't work good together, but I think it was my fault. I'm not blaming her. But if you got a significant other and you guys work good together, that can help out, because then you got some company. But most people when they start reselling, you're by yourself. And you're going to find out you're going to be by yourself a lot, because guess what? Your friends ain't going to want to come to the thrift store with you and hang out at the thrift store 6 days a fucking week for an hour, right? And if you're in there for an hour, your time's crucial. So you don't want to be just shooting the shit with your fucking buddies for an hour, distracting you from the reason you're there. Right? So you're going to be alone a lot. And once you're alone a lot, after a while, if you're not exercising, I'm telling you, it'll wear you down. It did it to me. Take it from me. I've only been reselling for 4 years, but every time I have exercised within them 4 years, I got better production and I got better numbers. Right? Because it does matter. If you go into listing your items with oh man, this is going to suck. If you go into listing with that attitude, you're not going to probably hit your quota for the day, right? You're not going to give it as much energy. It's just truthful. And another thing I wanted to touch on, it just flied the coop, man. It just took off. But yeah, so I think, first of all, anybody can do this shit. I know that for a fact. Second of all, if you're broke, you're choosing to be broke. Look, this isn't one of them YouTube channels where I'm trying to sell you my fucking shit. I don't care to sell any. I'll make my money on my own. I don't need, I'm not trying to sell you some bullshit course. I'm not wasting my time. I could be listing right now. I could be listing. I'm probably 20 minutes into this video or more. That could have been fucking at least 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 items. That could have been $100, right? That I lost out on to make this 20-minute video. I'm not doing this shit because I want people to toot my horn. I'm doing this shit because I know there's a lot of people out there that need financial help. One of my biggest things in life, if I'm known for anything by the time I die, I want to help people financially. Not by because people be like, life's it's not all about the money. Okay, live without it, right? Now, I'm not saying everything is about money, but you can do a lot more with it. Right, you can do a lot more for your family. You're not taking your family to fucking Costa Rica, man, on $100. I'm telling you that right now. You're not taking your family to the beach, especially with gas prices with $100. You ain't gonna make it to the fucking beach and back, right? So money is a very important aspect in life, and there's nothing wrong with wanting it. Okay, I used to have a bad core belief that money is the root of all evil, right? This is the shit I heard when I was younger, right? And I'm not blaming my parents. That's what they heard. Money is the root of all evil. It's not all about money, right? So I'm thinking that was embedded in my head. I heard it numerous times. They didn't sit me down and pound it in my head, but you listen when you're younger, right? You take that shit in. It became a core belief. So I'm like, it ain't about wanting money. If I want money, I'm wanting evil, right? That's what I was thinking in the back of my head. I had to rewash myself and say, it's okay to want, right? It's okay to want more. And the next subject I want to talk on is the importance of what do they call that, guys? Balance, right? They call it balance. If you ever hear a person on YouTube or anything talking about the importance of balance when you first start reselling, stop listening to them. I'm not trying to tell you who and who not to listen to, but listen to me. If you don't know anything about reselling and you're going to get started and you want to actually make a mark in reselling, if you want to actually make a full-time living or make some great numbers, you are going to be unbalanced for a fucking long time. I'm here to tell you that right now. If you're going to be great at anything, if you want to be a great runner, if you want to be a great bodybuilder, if you want to be a great hair artist, whatever it is that you want to be, if you want to be great at it, I mean above average, right? You got average people that put in the least amount of effort to get the results they're getting, right? If you want to go above that and go to average or great or even phenomenal, right? You are going to be very, very unbalanced for a long time. And then once you get a system down that's good enough, then you'll get balanced. Fucking 4 years in, I'm still unbalanced, guys. I'm 4 years in. I don't have my whole day balanced perfect. I don't. I'd be sitting up here fucking lying to you. There's times I feel like I'm working too much and not spending enough time with my fiance. Right? Even though she's good with, she's good with the TV and talking to her kids on phone after she gets out of work, right? But there is times I want to be up there with her. I want to go out and do something with her. And I sacrifice that to do that. So I felt guilty for a little bit. Don't do that, man. Look, the best thing the best thing you can do in that situation, if you have a significant other, right? Or maybe if you got some kids, right? You sit them down and let them know what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it. Right? I sat my fiance down at a table, like a school table. It's kind of funny. It was in the garage. I sat her down, put a chair right here. I had a chair right here, and I had a pad of notes. I says, hey, look, I'm about to try to do something that is going to improve our life in the future financially. Okay? Are you cool with that? She's like, yes, I'm cool with that. You have to communicate, because if you just cut them off totally and don't tell them what you're trying to do, and all of a sudden you're spending no time with them, well, guess what? You're going to be real lonely pretty soon, because they're going to fucking leave you. They're not going to understand it. So I sat down and went through a list of shit with my fiance. I'm like, babe, this might take me 16 hours a day, because at that time I was working a 9 to 5. I'm going to go to work for 8 hours to 10 hours, then I'm going to come home and put another 6 to 8 hours in on eBay. Are you okay with that for 5 to 10 years down the road? We can make 6 figures a year. It didn't take that long, but I'm just saying, I didn't know how long it was going to take. I didn't know what it was going to take us to get there, but I did that. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I would do my exercise. I would start packaging items. I would make sure I did all my eating, and then I went to my 9 to 5. I would come home. On my way home, I went to the thrift store. Listen, this shit's crazy. I went to the thrift store. I spent an hour or two in there. By the time I got home, I was taking tags off, prepping shit, washing shit if it needed to be washed, take my photos, list my items. By midnight, I was in bed, waking back up by 4. I did that for an entire season of work, right? But it fucking worked. I don't have to put that much time in anymore to make triple the income I was making at my 9 to 5, or actually more than triple, right? I don't have to do it anymore. A little bit of balance generated, right? Now, I'm not perfectly balanced, guys, and guys and girls, you're not going to be perfectly balanced neither. Be okay. Look, don't look at your neighbor and be like, man, his life looks so fucking perfect. He just comes out smiling with his coffee, he jumps in his Mercedes-Benz, he drives to the office, he comes home, he's got food. It just looks so balanced. Don't focus on other motherfuckers. Focus on you. You improve a little bit every day, because you can improve a little bit every single day. Without a doubt. I don't know one person that can't improve a little bit. Maybe you don't read. Pick up a fucking book that can help you build some self-esteem or whatever it might be, right? And read for 10 minutes a day. Justin, I can't stand to read. Dude, anybody can read for 5 minutes a day. Right? I don't know, maybe you can't read, right? Watch a fucking motivational video. Maybe you can't see. Have somebody help you out. Put some earbuds in. Listen to a YouTube channel that motivates. You can self-improve. And if you really want to know how to build a good eBay business, and guys, I can't say a great or an excellent, because I believe great and excellent is in the millions, right? And I'm not there, right? So I'm not great and excellent yet. I'm not phenomenal. I see that in the future within the next 5 years, for sure, right? I believe in that. For sure it's going to happen, right? And if you don't believe it like that, with that much sternness to yourself. You can't look yourself in the mirror and say, I know where I'm going to be at in 5 years. Now, I might not hit right on my goal, but I'm going to be damn fucking close, right? How do I know that? Because I know if you just keep going, you can't fail. You can't fail on eBay if you don't give up. The only way you can fail on eBay is when you say, you know what, man, fuck this channel. I'm done. You guys never see me again, right? For sure that's going to fail. it's going to fucking fail, right? So if you want to make some exceptional numbers, you have to be okay with being unbalanced. It's the bottom line, guys. Like I said, I'm still far from fucking perfect. I'm trying to go to the gym. I'm doing a AM and a PM workout, right? I'm trying to run this business. I'm trying to start another business, right? I drop my fiance to work and I pick her back up, right? We got family, we go visit. All this shit, right? I gotta go get inventory. Now, all this, right, doesn't always pan out the same way every single day. Sometimes I have to fluctuate what time I'm gonna do photos and what time I'm gonna list. Sometimes I ain't going to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh well, right? Shit happened that day. I still gotta get my shit done, right? Oh well. Learn to do that. Enjoy the process. Look, the process is going to be fucking messy, man. But there's a guy that says this all the time on YouTube, and I think it's TD Jakes. He actually was in a lot of the Tyler Perry movies, which is crazy because he's a fucking preacher, right? And he was cussing like a sailor. Super cool. But anyways, this guy says it a lot, right? Your process is going to be messy, but your mess is going to be your message. This is why you hear me talking about my 20 years of fucking up, right? If you lived what I lived, right? Maybe you did. I don't know. I hope to God not, right? If you seen that, there ain't no way in hell you would have said that. I would have been right here trying to encourage people to become more financially wealthy and actually succeed on eBay. I wasn't that person. If you were sleeping, I'll take your keys, motherfucker. That's who I used to be, right? I was not the best individual, but my mess became my message to help encourage other people that might have done some ignorant shit like that they can make more of a living than a 9-to-5 will provide for them. So your mess, the mess of your eBay journey, maybe you get yourself to 6 figures a year. You know what you do? If somebody else helped you get there, you need to help somebody else get there. Right? Maybe you don't start video content like this, but maybe you post. Right? Maybe you're a better writer and you write some stuff down and you share it daily. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't matter how you deliver your message. It doesn't matter how. Maybe you do it out of drawing, right? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You listen to Gary Vee. It don't matter how you share your message, right? Just pass it on to somebody else. Maybe you got a friend that's struggling. Be like, hey, bro, man, I started this shit a couple years back. I'm not making millions of dollars, but I sure in the fuck don't got to punch a time clock no more, right? And if you're willing to learn, I'll teach it to you. And teach it to them for free and give it back to them. There ain't one better feeling than watching somebody grow from something you learned. Right? That's more rewarding to me than a dollar amount. I don't give a fuck the dollars, man. They're going to come anyways. If you believe they're going to come, they're going to come. Now, you can't just sit on a couch and eat potato chips and watch Netflix and be like, yeah, money's going to come. Money's going to come. And it's just going to come. Man, look, first of all, if you just get really good at what you're doing, you don't even got to worry about the money no more. The bottom line is, most people are just like, the money. I want the money, right? Because I was guilty as fuck as that. Once I stopped focusing on the money and started focusing on doing my customers right and finding the best items I can for the best dollar and building my inventory, the money followed. Right? Once I stopped focusing on money. All day long I was doing that. Money. Oh, the money ain't growing fast enough. Oh my God, I didn't get enough sales. Oh my God. Once you stop focusing on that, focus on building a system that is fucking actually a good enough system that you can get a listing done in 5 to 10 minutes, right? If you can get a listing done in 10 minutes, you can make some great money, right? Anybody should be able to do that within time, right? You get down to 5, 3, 4, whatever, or fuck it. There's some people that are doing it in a minute, right? Which is batshit crazy. I wish I knew how they were doing that. I'd like to learn from them. But if you can build a good system, worry about your customers, treat your customers good, and really be out there thinking about the customer. Okay, what have I been looking for, right? And you put all your energy into that, the money's just going to follow, right? People are like, money's hard to make. It sure in the fuck is hard to make if you're at a dead-end job, right? Money is hard to make, but if you are doing something and you put your all into it, your energy into it, if you really put your energy into it, right? Like I said, guys, not every day do I wake up fucking, whoo, can't wait to resell, but I find a way to get my mindset there. Whether it's through a video, whether it's through an excruciating fucking workout, right? I use that example all the time as working out, right? You're literally going to the gym to break yourself down. But you do it, right? Not every day when I wake up am I excited about going to the gym, but I find a way to get myself motivated to do it because I know if I don't do it, I'm going to feel like more shit than I do if I do it. That's the truth about reselling too. The truth is, look, if you know you can get 10 items done today and you don't, the pain of not doing it is going to be greater than the pain of just fucking sucking it up and doing it. That's the truth. Because what the pain of not doing it is, it's going to be regret. The worst thing in the world is regret. Man, I should have listed them items yesterday. Man, I should have did what you know what? I was thinking about starting to resell 5 years ago, and my friend we were both talking about it, and you look back and your friend actually started and you didn't. All of a sudden your friend's making fucking 7 figures a year. That regret will haunt you for the rest of your motherfucking life. Right? So the actual pain of not doing what you know you should be doing is going to be more painful than just the act itself. You're not always going to want to do this shit. You're not always going to want to wake up and do life. Right? But if you just lay down and eat fucking Cheetos and watch Netflix all day, this is how people get into depression. That's how people get into depression. This is why the pharmaceutical industry are multi-billionaires. That's why. Oh, we'll just give them a little happy pill, put them on number 7, out of a 1 to 10. We'll make them feel at a 7 with a happy pill, so they're fucking delusional and out of their mind. They don't even know what's going on. They keep eating them Cheetos and watching Netflix. And it's just a regret. That is exactly, guys. You know how you get successful on eBay? Do what the fuck you say you're going to do. Bottom line. Summed it up right there. I think I can end it there. You guys have a rocking evening.